Hey everybody, it's Steve. This is a draft video. I'm using this to create a doodle video, which will do all the graphics and stuff. So I'm not really going to get into B-roll, but I wanted to cover um, the new law. And folks, in case you didn't know, it went into effect Saturday, January 4th. This is Law SB 1173, also known as Act 52, the wholesaler law, or as the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors called it, their 2024 legislative priority. The purpose of the law was to protect consumers and to protect them from bad wholesalers. And yes, there's plenty of bad wholesalers, whether they are inept, whether they are meaning to be bad. There's some bad apples in our bunch, folks. I hate to tell you that. That's just the way it is. So a law was needed. This law is not a good law in my opinion, but this is the law we live under. Short versions of what the law says is every real estate transaction that is a sale of equity for money. You can call it novation, you can call it power of attorney, you can call it assignment, you can call it applesauce. As I've been told and know, in better terms, if it looks like a duck and smells like a duck, it's a duck. Okay. If you're selling equity for money on a deal you haven't closed on and put in your own name, then it's a wholesale. People say, well, I'll do a double close. Well, okay, great. While you're advertising the deal before you own it, you're advertising an equity for money deal. If I'm the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors attorneys who want to put wholesalers out of business, I'm calling the state on you. If I'm one of your competitors and I'm licensed, if I am the state, if I'm someone who gets mad at you and decides to call the state. So understand that pretty much if you're wholesaling, and I've got some very big friends in the wholesale industry who say, well, I'm just going to put it under contract, push it out to my private buyers list, and no one will really know. True. No one will really know until they do. And when they do, and you violated the law. So I'm saying, what's with all the static? I'm Steve. I'm a real estate broker. I'm a wholesaler. I've owned property in my own name since 1997. I own my own brokerage firm, which we focus on wholesaling. I also own the Wholesale Broker, which is a brand that helps wholesalers in a lot of different ways. And I offered my expertise and the expertise of many other brokers I know who wholesale to both Pennsylvania Association of Realtors when these laws were being drafted and to the State House. My friends might have been called in. I know I never was. But, we know this stuff. And the reality is it's here now. So what does this mean for you? If you're doing transactions 5 units and under in the state of Pennsylvania, residential property, your mixed use, your self-storage, your various other things, may not apply. The law kind of describes it. You need to be a real estate license, meaning you have to be an agent. You do not have to be a realtor. That's a different thing. Your license is here. Every realtor has to have a license. A lot of agents choose to add a realtor membership. It's a club. It's a private association. Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, National Association of Realtors. It's not a license. It's not a state thing. You can also be a realtor, but you have to be a licensee, and you have to be a licensee working under a broker. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is there's lots of stuff the contract has to have, which it didn't have to have before. You have to make it clear to the seller they have 30 days from signing your contract to change their mind. You can be walking into the closing room and the seller says, I don't like the socks you're wearing. I don't want to sell my house to you. And they have every right, if it's a wholesale transaction, to do so. If you're a larger person and you're able to say, listen, I'm going to buy this thing anyway, and if I happen to find another buyer, terrific, that's a sale, and you're closing on it anyway. But if you're wanting the exit strategy of a wholesaler, you've got to follow the rules. They also, after signing with you, have the right to have an appraisal and change their mind based on the appraisal. We all know we wouldn't be wholesalers if we were buying things for the appraised value. So they're going to see the bigger price and whatever. And the third problem with the law is that it doesn't require that the seller be told the one thing they should be told. You're selling to me for less money than you're going to sell to somebody who's actually going to live in your home. You're going to get less money from me than you would from your local listing agent advertising your property and finding you a buyer. That's the one thing they should be telling, and they're not. So you get your license. Now, there are ways, very small ways, and you would make a very small amount of money. There are ways to possibly pay you a finder's fee on deals if you don't want to get licensed. That's over here, because I'll be perfectly blunt. I don't know why anyone listening to this video who wants to wholesale or is wholesaling would do that. Because do you want to make 80 to 100% of the spread by becoming a licensed agent, joining my firm, and doing it the right way? Or do you want to make some itty bitty fraction because you've turned your deal over to me and I pay you what I can under the state law? I don't think you want the itty bitty fraction. And here's why it's an itty bitty fraction. Okay, it's a small fraction because under Pennsylvania state law, if you're not a licensee working under a broker, you can't negotiate with the seller. You can't negotiate with the buyer. You can't show the property. You can't market the property. You can't advertise the property. You can't talk about the property. You can't do any of what the state would call substantive real estate activities. That's their fancy word for whatever they feel like saying it is. So if you send me a lead, if you get on the phone with the seller, if you do something like that, yeah, there's a number that can be compensated, but it's going to be a small number because everything from that conversation, from that first chat with the seller forward, has to be done by a license. So you can't keep the 80, 90, 100% you're used to if somebody else is doing most of the work. So I believe every wholesaler right now should contact me and join my firm as a JV affiliate. We run your deals while you're getting your license. As soon as you can, you get your license. You join my firm and we pay you real money. We pay you the real percentages that you deserve because you're doing the work. And we have no fees, no membership fees. I think we actually do charge wholesalers like $10 a month or something, but that's tiny. We give you all the tools, all the technologies. Your leads are yours. You're not turning them over to us. When the seller says they want to do a deal and they sign the paperwork, that's when everything starts. And we walk you through it. We also teach you how to be a licensed agent. Now you can actually list property or affiliate with an agent who lists property if you don't join the board of realtors. Now you can do all kinds of transactions. And let's face it, folks, there are deals you've lost out on because you couldn't come to a number. Wholesale number didn't work. Listing number worked. Get your license and you can do it. You can make money on listings, which you couldn't do before. It only cost you a few $100s to get your license or to take the license course, a few $100s to get your license, and a few $100 a year to keep it. Again, you can join your board of realtors and you can have all the advantages of being a realtor. That's additional. But being an agent is cheap. So what you got to do is contact me, 570-798-7051, or go to thewholesalebroker.com and get involved and let us help you make money in wholesaling. If you have current deals, and I'm just going to tell everyone this right now, if you've got contracts you already signed that are still open contracts, it is unknown whether you're going to have to turn those into new version of wholesale contracts. The law went into effect on Saturday. What did that do to open contracts that were already open? I don't know. So that's an interesting question that we can discuss, and my attorneys are going to be giving me an answer on. But right now, if you're a wholesaler or you want to be a wholesaler, you want to learn how to make money in wholesaling, reach out to me. 570-798-7051. Private message me here or thewholesalebroker.com. Let's do this, guys. Thanks.